Hello, I'm Dr. Manon Bolliger, and I'd like to share with you the next step to pain-free living. And mostly by introducing to you the Bowen first approach, which will show you how to reboot your body and your life. To give you an overview, we will be covering why we need to reboot our minds, reboot our bodies, and why this helps us reboot our lives. Healthcare has a context. When we're not well, we see a generalist, a doctor who is trained to refer to a specialist. And specialists look at the part that's acting up. So for skin problems, we see a dermatologist. For gut issues, we see a GI specialist. For heart issues, a heart specialist. For mental emotional issues, a mental specialist. And for joint health, we see a joint health specialist. Many of us have multiple diagnoses because we have many parts to our body, and some of us just have one condition, such as arthritis. Your GP wants the complete picture. At least this is what the Vancouver Division of Family Practice says on this sort of sad-looking skeleton that just takes X-ray pictures of the whole body. But at least you should want to get the whole picture. What patients and health consumers are saying is that doctors are primarily focused on the disease, and little time is taken to get to know you, the patient with the symptoms. And also, they don't understand the context of your life or lifestyle. And this is not because they don't want to, it's the way our healthcare system is organized. So why is our healthcare system failing? First of all, because we start with available drugs and work backwards to creating disease labels and symptoms that we can palliate. Same with the mental diseases. The mental diagnostic categories in the new DSM have quadrupled from its first publication in 1952. And our diagnostic equipment only confirms typically late-stage problems, and it's not that helpful for prevention. So in my book, What Patients Don't Say If Doctors Don't Ask, the Mindful Patient-Doctor Relationship, I gathered, through my research, main principles that came up over and over again in the research that I was looking through. And so I've called these science discoveries. And the first one I wanted to share is that it has been demonstrated that treatment result outcome is closely linked to your subjective experience of life. So my question is, why not spend more time to get to know yourself? The second discovery is that disease calling does not predict the outcome, and in fact reinforces the nocebo effect. Nocebo comes from negative. It's the opposite of placebo effect, which is the positive effect. And nocebo creates a negative effect. The name of the disease is not the solution, and I think everyone knows that. And science discovery number 3 is that stress affects the immune system, and even low levels of stress experienced by individuals who have poor coping skills may cause significant alterations in immune functioning, increasing their susceptibility to disease. So what causes stress? Is it what we think? Is it what keeps us apart? Do our thoughts inspire and enlighten us? Or are your thoughts killing you? Do you live life by chance? Do you live life by choice? Are you lost in a maze? Or are you living life by design? Science discovery number 4 is that stress causes disease. No surprise here. And research shows that coping skills to be the most useful approach to diminish the impact of stress. So therapeutic approaches that focus on stress alleviation and the associated coping mechanisms play a critical role in health. And coping is not just a mental activity, it has biological implications. What you feel and think directly affects your body, and reciprocally, a proper functioning body is better equipped to cope. You may say, I'm feeling happy, angry, sad, or maybe you're full of fear and you're driven by fear, or you have feelings of love. But if it makes you feel any better, the HMO would list you as perfectly healthy, because sometimes when you go in by prevention, they don't actually see the impact of all these unprocessed emotions, feelings, and stress. So, what do you see in the mirror? Are you confused? This is what I think is happening. Your software is tangled, and really the analogy with the computer is quite perfect. I remember, calling my son who was in computer science at the time, and I kept saying, what should I do? My Word document is not working and my Excel is not coping. And then if I open this, the little round thing spins and spins and it doesn't recognize anything. And became quite a habit. It took me a long time to learn. But basically, he said, power down and restart. And lo and behold, the programs were just fine. It's just that everything got tangled. So can we reboot our bodies in the same way? And the answer is yes, we can. Because our body systems also go haywire and need a chance to refresh, reset, and reboot. And why do we need to reboot? Because pain has pain loops, and pain demands your full attention. You aren't interested in anything else until you become pain-free. You need to help to restore your body. You need your sleep, you need your energy, you need better circulation, and all of this can't work if our body's programs are all tangled up. Rebooting the body is one of the most transformational approaches to healing because it happens within a context, a framework which positions you to initiate healing. And this is what happens when you introduce Bowen first to the healing equation. I have always said that healing is a contact sport, and I want to explain that because we're really in a self-help society, and the truth is that we're isolated and communities are falling apart, and there's such a need to reconnect with people. And here's an opportunity where healing actually requires contact with another. It is in relation to another. And whether this be source, God, whatever you might call it, a partner, an aligned health professional. But healing does not happen all by itself. And why it's a sport is because it requires you to be your personal best, to make a choice, to be committed, take responsibility, and be part of a team. So why does the body achieve this through rebooting? And my understanding is that all healing is in relation to another, and touch is a fundamental contact because the body stores memory in its tissues, and because the body and mind are completely inseparable. What affects one affects and manifests in the other. So rebooting your body gives you a chance to clean out the garbage, reprogram, take out the files that limit you, take a new direction, you could listen to your body. And I believe when the body produces symptoms, as you know, we need to listen because it is trying to say something. This is true of pain, inflammation, disease, and even symptoms with no established category. We need to uncover the underlying why behind the symptoms. We do need the whole picture. Plato said the part can never be well until the whole is well. So what can you do with all this information? Is there anything you can try right now and start your body on this path? Something to turn on the switch. Something that is painless, gentle, relaxing, and liberating. So would you be interested in participating with this? Because you will have the opportunity to experience and become open and aligned with your healing process. By working through the body, you will find benefit long-term as well, because the Reboot Your Body treatment is effective, it's safe, it's applicable to all ages, has long-lasting results. It's painless, it's relaxing, and it's something that you can do, to your family and friends. And this is because the greatest healing tool is the body itself. And Bowen first catalyzes the healing response of the body, accelerating it without interfering with it. And it summons the body's ability to integrate new states of repair into its restorative network. It helps integrate the separated part of the body due to trauma, injury, or repetitive strain to rewire with the rest of the body. This is why Bowen first allows the body to reboot. And one of the most important elements of this is restoring the parasympathetic function. And Bowen first can directly relieve these symptoms through reducing sympathetically maintained muscle contraction. When we have spasm and inflammation, which are healthy, normal, immediate responses to an injury, they often remain long after and become the problem. So the parasympathetic portion is reciprocally restored, increasing blood and lymph flow, feeding undernourished tissue and reducing inflammation, simply because Bowen first restores the parasympathetic function and takes the body out of fight, flight, or freeze. It also eliminates pain. The objective in Bowen first is to remove held patterns of pain and physiological dysfunction by restoring the structural integrity of the body. It is a process that enables self-regulation, and pain is the result not only of an original cause, but of the many defensive postures the body takes to compensate for the original injury. The key is to untangle this pain web of compensatory feedback loops. You can feel shifts in your body during and after Bowen first sessions, which connect you to your own body's resources and magnificence. Science discovery number 5 is that one of the most effective ways of helping you to take steps towards health is to be heard in the context of your experience. So to have the opportunity to bring to surface the meaning of the symptoms you're experiencing. The body holds the truth, so why not listen? Maybe it's anger. Maybe, it's illness and prolonged pain. Maybe it's pride and, overachieving or fear of failure. The question is, are you integrating body and mind And what attitude do you have towards your body and yourself? Are you feeding or nourishing yourself? Are you doing simple things like drinking water, deep breathing, and helping your body regenerate, rest, and restore? Are you working out or helping your body reboot? And what I mean by that are you working on increasing circulation, increasing lymphatic flow, facilitating detoxification pathways, increasing elimination, integrating and harmonizing your metabolism, resetting the autonomic nervous system, and shedding old emotional patterns from your tissue? It has been my experience that patients, by and large, know what their problem is, how they got there, and when given different options, know what course of treatment would most likely help them. So is this the missing piece for you? The next time you hear, tell me if you've heard this diagnosis before. You can follow a trend or make a choice. You can reboot your world with a clean slate and listen to what your body is saying. Take a new direction, a mindset for health. Because health has a context, just like nature. And the discovery number 6 is that finding ways for patients to shift their own perspectives may be one of the most powerful prescriptions for health. The way you live is also the way you heal. And your well-being increases productivity, focus, energy, happiness, health, wealth. Because your mindset in health governs your habits, attitudes, beliefs, thoughts, level of commitment, actions, and yes, results. As Eckhart Tolle says, be at least as interested in what goes on inside you as what happens outside. If you get the inside right, the outside will fall into place. Thank you for being part of this presentation. If you'd like more information, you will be receiving it shortly.